Hello, and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we talk to you about one cool thing that we've been testing out here in PC Labs. Now, I'm Tom Brandt, this is Will Greenwald. Last week, we were at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, scouring the entire thing to find the most coolest products, some of which we hope to show you on shows in the coming weeks and months. But for now, we have a JBL speaker here that has Google Assistant built into it, so you can use this similar to how you would use Google Home.
Yeah. This is the JBL Link 10. It is the smallest model in JBL's Link line, which also includes the Link 300, which is $250, the Link 500, which I want to say is $400, but I need to check. This is $149.95. And it is basically a Google Home that runs on a battery, is rugged, and frankly sounds a lot better than the actual Google Home.
Yeah, now you say rugged. This does have some capabilities other than audio that the Google Home cannot match. We're going to talk about all those, but I just want to let you know that if you have a question about audio, home assistance, technology in general, please definitely put your comment in the comment section in Facebook, or if you're watching this later on YouTube, come back tomorrow for our next show where you can interact with us live. So yes, you mentioned it's rugged, and I assume that means it's waterproof.
It's IPX, I believe, 6, so I wouldn't necessarily say dunk it, but I think it does can survive being submerged for 30 minutes under a meter of water. Obviously, you're not going to hear much from it at that point, but it does mean that this can handle a splash being used by the pool, and it'll probably work just fine. Isn't dust proof. That's what the X in IPX means. The first number in IPX is like IPX67 means it can handle dust. So not technically dust proof, waterproof. We have a question.
Does it have a little woofer on the bottom?
I wouldn't say so. I believe they're just mid-range drivers, possibly tweeters. But in terms of sound, it actually does sound a lot better than the Google Home, which is $130, $20 less than this, and not battery powered. That's another aspect of this. This is battery powered.
That's a huge thing. So you can bring this from room to room, or even to a hotel if you go on a trip, which is much, the wireless freedom, I think, is one of the key, the lack of wireless freedom is one of the key drawbacks of Google Home or the Echo.
Yep. I'm not too sure if you can use this through like a hotel or any portal thing, but you can sync it with your phone.
Yeah.
And use that as a tether, and that works fine.
But let's talk more about audio quality, because when I was talking to the Google Assistant earlier through this device, the text sounds very crisp.
Yeah, it's pretty crisp. Hey Google, when is CES 2019?
2019 International CES begins on Tuesday, January 8th, 2019, and ends on Friday, January 11th, 2019.
That is too soon.
So you can see there that we've actually switched the Google Assistant voice to the male version.
It's an option, and I'm so used to Alexa being female and Siri being female, it's like, you know what, I'm going to have Speaker Bro.
But having used the Google Home for about a month or so, I got used to it responding audibly to queries, but not at like the crisp level that this speaker offers. Now, what about like music though?
Music, it also sounds very good. Again, better than Google Home. I'd say a bit better than the Amazon Echo, which again is less expensive. It's $100. But for this size, it's a pretty good speaker. Isn't necessarily the most balanced or robust sound, but for a portable voice assistant speaker of this size, it's pretty good sound.
Let's take another question.
Someone asked, what would be the first song you'd want to play on it? What do we test songs with, speakers with?
I try to test songs that I enjoy, and also the nice silent shout for bass testing. I'd go through a whole lot of everything. Yes, Pantera, MC Lars, Ninja Sex Party. I could go through a lot of different types of music.
Yeah, and we would like to show you that. We could play a song in here, but really, it's through the interwebs, you're not going to get the full effect, so we'll kind of forego
You'd be hearing it through these tiny mics, so you're not getting...
Yeah, so you don't get the full effect, but suffice it to say, though, that extra $30 that you're going to be spending on this over the Google Home, or sorry, $20, that extra amount gives you...
Portable.
It's the main thing that you're spending, I guess, it is those extra ancillary features, the portability, the battery, the fact that you can charge it. The audio quality is good for like we said for the text for the voice, but overall this isn't like a great speaker that you're gonna be wowed by.
No, but I mean, any Bluetooth speaker under maybe $200, you're not going to be super wowed by it. I mean, compare this to, say, the Sonos One, an Alexa speaker, not battery powered, it's $200. A much sort of more full and balanced sound. But for sub 200, we're talking like 100 to 150. This is comparable with similar priced and similar sized Bluetooth speaker.
Now, how does this work on the top here? We've got a Google Assistant button, we've got a Bluetooth button, volume, play, pause. What is this?
Pretty much
That's
it.
pretty much it. What is the Google Assistant button?
It just triggers it if you don't want to use the wake word.
Okay.
And there's also a microphone button on the back if you want to mute, so not use Google Assistant.
Right, and then a power button, which I'm assuming you
Turns it
need
off.
to use when you power or
Yep.
when you recharge the device.
We have a question.
How rugged is it?
It is, I believe, IPX7 rated, so it can handle submersion if you make sure the rubber door on the back is closed, up to 30 minutes at about a meter. I need to check that. It might be IPX6, but either way, it can handle splashes, it can handle getting water on it. You can use it by the pool with fairly little worry.
So-
it is more rugged than your average voice assistant speaker. Certainly more rugged than the Google Home, or I believe even the new Echo is not rugged.
So
It
I can
looks
actually
rugged.
address that because you can actually go and read our full review at PCMag.com. I will just say, looking at this briefly,
Yeah, IPX7.
that it is IPX7, which means you can put this in up to 3.3 feet of water.
A meter.
3.3 feet is a meter for 30 minutes.
We try
Now-
to use imperial measurements when possible. But
Right. But the thing is, and more specifically in terms of ruggedness, can you put this in your cooler and bring it to the beach? Can you,
Sure.
in terms of basically things that you would not do with the Google Home?
Yes.
I mean, the Google Home looks great. It's a great device for your living room, blends in with the decor,
And of course,
but
the
it's
Google
very
Home,
fragile.
And of course, the Google Home Mini and like the Echo Dot, they're like $50. So like
Yeah.
you can have that around and not really go for the audio quality at all, and of course, no portability. But you're paying for the quality of the sound and being able to take this around.
But you're also really not paying that much. I mean, $149 for an assistant-equipped speaker, to me, is really good. I mean, like,
we still really like the Echo. That's just 100.
Yeah.
I have an Echo at home. I like it. Generally, our stance between voice assistants is Alexa is really good in terms of third-party skills. You can do a whole lot with it. But Google Assistant is a lot easier to work with because the context of speaking to it isn't nearly as stiff.
Yeah, and it's also much better in terms of there's a few areas that Google is better in terms of asking for translations, asking for directions, things like that, that Google has spent a decade or more working on that Amazon isn't quite there. The flip side of it, Amazon is much better integrated with third-party devices.
Weirdly enough, Alexa is better integrated with G Suite.
Yeah,
like calendar stuff.
and
That's
calendar
bizarre.
stuff. Yeah, that's I'm assuming changing. They're going to work on that. But yeah,
Maybe.
you're right. That
We have a question.
That is, yeah.
Do we do teardowns?
Not really. Generally, when we get products into the lab, they are loaners that we test. We put through the full paces of what a consumer is going to use it as. We go through all the benchmarking we do if it's applicable to the hardware, but we don't actually take it apart and look at the guts inside. We generally go by white paper specs, the hard
Right.
details, but we don't rip these apart because we got to send it back.
Yeah, we don't actually buy any of these products, and we have to send them back. But the one thing to note about that is the microphone technology in these things is fairly well developed. This isn't just a speaker to which they put in a microphone to listen for you asking queries. It's multi-directional.
Yep.
Things like that, right?
It also works with other Google Assistant devices. So like if you have two of them in one room and you speak, the one closest responds because they sync up.
Yeah.
And it can recognize multiple users. It has all the advanced voice recognition features as Google Home, which is really nice.
Yeah, and also, Amazon is providing their specifications for their voice recognition technology to other manufacturers so that they can do this. And I'm not sure if Google is doing the same, but it's much better than just holding a microphone out.
Yeah. We have a question.
Yeah.
Is this better or worse than the Echo Tap?
I don't believe has the Echo Tap been updated since it was last released? I know they had the firmware update after the first Echo Tap was released that enabled the hands-free,
Yeah.
which was the big step which made it kind of worthwhile.
I'm not sure what the updates have been.
I think this is a bit stronger. I don't remember the exact measurements. I think the Echo Tap is a bit sort of smaller and not quite as sort of appealing visually. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
whether you like the rugged speaker look or not, this is a very standard sort of JBL speaker with the fabric wrap and the kind of barrel design.
Right.
I think this one has stronger audio performance.
I mean, and another thing too is you kind of first need to decide whether or not you like Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the first step in terms of the ecosystems, and then you can kind of look at the features like portability. With the Echo Tap, I believe it's much cheaper too, right? It's not as good of a speaker.
I believe so. Yeah.
You should check the Echo Tap at PCMag.com for more of those kind of details. But really, it comes down to who are you more comfortable talking to, Google or Amazon?
Yeah.
And security-wise, we should mention that you know, there are some big unanswered questions. Google and Amazon say that they're not listening constantly; they're only listening when the wake word happens. There's been some, you know, anecdotal things to throw doubt on that. In general, I believe in their you know, privacy policies, but it is something to consider that if you buy one of these things and you don't mute the microphone, conceivably it's always listening to you.
Yep.
Let's take another question.
Someone just wants you to ask it a question. So anything off the top of your head.
Hey Google, what's the weather next week?
In New York City Sunday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 46 and a low of 37. Monday, there'll be showers with a high of 49 and a low of 39. Tuesday, there'll be snow showers with a
Stop.
high of 37 and a low of 33.
Hey Google, stop.
Next
Yeah. So you can see that brilliant voice quality, and you say stop to stop it.
Yep. I need to say, I need to use the wake word first, but then
Right.
stopping. And it did hear me though over it speaking, so that's good.
All right, now can we play like, you know, 5 seconds or so of a song that you would use to test it?
I'm trying to think of one now.
Which, well, while you're thinking about that, you can use Google Play Music and Spotify. I believe there's integrations with both of those.
I think so, yeah.
Certainly Google Play Music.
Actually, I don't believe Spotify is integrated with this.
Okay.
You'd need to go through Google Play Music or TuneIn or iHeartRadio currently.
Well, let's just ask. Let's ask Google to choose. Hey Google, play us a song.
playing some music on Spotify.
There you go.
Sometimes I wish I was even more lost.
And that would be Unicorn Wizard by Ninja Sex Party.
So actually, there you go. We answered the question. It can use Spotify, assuming that you've integrated it with your account,
Actually, that might be through Google Play.
or through Google Play.
Did it say through Spotify?
Yeah, it said playing it through Spotify.
Okay, then
Yeah,
never
yeah.
mind. I was completely wrong. This works with Spotify.
Yeah,
Yay.
and so you can actually find all that integration stuff in the Google Home app, which you download.
I've been testing a handful of voice assistant speakers lately, and like the sort of tertiary features of like, does it work with Spotify?
Right.
Because it's the UE Mega Blast that doesn't come with
Okay.
Spotify. That's Alexa.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard to keep track. That's why I write the words down and we publish them, so I don't have to remember them.
So yeah, again, check our review. But the main thing also to remember is that these things are constantly changing. Google is
Right.
constantly adding new features to over the past year since they've introduced it, it's mind-blowing how many changes they've made to the software.
Yeah.
Let's take another question.
Does Google Assistant also have games like Alexa?
I don't think as many. Like it probably has. It has some playful stuff. I can tell jokes.
Yeah.
You know,
But Alexa can do that too.
Yeah, but my stance on voice assistant games is even lower than my stance on media streamer games of like on a Roku. There's no need to play games for it. Like it's a cool diversion for 5 minutes, then
Yeah.
you forget about it forever.
But here's the thing, though: if you are, sitting around in your living room, maybe you just watched a football game or something. The one thing that I really like about the Google Assistant is that you can play trivia with it. It has a built-in trivia thing that is way better than anything I've seen on Alexa. It actually sets you up. You can, all through your voice, you can tell it how many people you have, what kind of trivia you want to play. It has built-in laugh tracks and applause. So there are little fun diversion things like that, why not enjoy that? And actually, that was one of the better interactions that I've had. It understood everyone in the room perfectly.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, so there are things like that you can play around with. And it looks like we're all good with questions. So let's recap this briefly again. This is the JBL
The JBL Link 10.
Link 10.
Our review is currently online. It got 4 stars. It is $150.
And if you want a Google Assistant speaker in your house, definitely consider the $30 extra over the Google Home and for this JBL 10. We will be back tomorrow with yet another one cool thing. In the meantime, check out the reviews on PCMag.com and our Facebook and Twitter if you have any questions. Thanks very much for watching. See you tomorrow.